Hey man, moving from your job to your first ever business and moving from your first ever business that you probably could be running from home, it's a quasi business. Sometimes you make money, sometimes you don't. Moving from that stage to a fully running business where you're consistently generating few lakhs of rupees a month to probably few tens of lakhs of rupees a month. These two stages are the most important. The time when you get started with running your business and the time you get started with being having consistent income and having a stable structure. These are the two most important stages in the overall business journey. And when people say that, hey, 90% of businesses fail in the first year and 90% of those that survive fail in the next 4 years, so basically 95 to 98% businesses fail. Most of the businesses actually fail in these two segments. Think about a child growing up, a child who is growing up or who's getting born and then growing up. The most critical years of survival are infancy years. That is why in even in medical parlance is a separate segment attached to it. When a child is an infant is less than 1 year. And then they talk about critical growing years during which you have immunizations done, during which you're supposed to maintain a good environment inside the home because the child is subconsciously getting all of the different impressions in life. So during the infancy phase and the critical growing years, these are the most important phases of a child's life because the things that happen during those phases are going to affect far into the future. Similarly, in your business, the way you manage your business, and if you're a one person business, then the way you manage yourself is going to have an effect far into the future. Even if you tomorrow become a millionaire or billionaire, the way you can see a lot of people who at a very advanced stage are also kind of losing their businesses today, and a lot of different failures, etc., and crashes are happening. It's probably because the foundations were not set when they were a solopreneur, when they were just dreaming about the business, setting things in place. Then those are the things that they did not focus on very well. The foundations were not set. In this particular video, I'm going to be talking about how to start thinking about business in a slightly different fashion than probably your mentor or whoever your current business advisor is teaching you. Because if you were able to master this and just get these ideas into your head, it's going to be that much more effective, not only in helping your business survive, but also growing into a phase where you can make probably 10 lakh, 20 lakh, 30 lakh rupees a month as well. All right. My name is Dr. Rajat Sinha, and my credentials are that after being a medical doctor, I went into business. My first business failed, so I had to go back to a job. And the second time I went to a job, I did not go to a hospital job. I went into a sales job because my mentor at the time, he recommended that. He said, your sales skills are still very weak. You need to go get a sales job. And after that, I found my second mentor who taught me the things that I'm going to share with you right now, which is how do actually companies run. Now, this time I was working not in something called an S corp in Silicon Valley. I was working for an S corp, which is essentially little better than a kind of a GST partnership GST like we have in India right now. But it turned out to be a full-fledged, very very serious company in Silicon Valley, and then we were able to get acquired for a sum close to 500 crore rupees, thus bringing hundreds of crores of rupees of taxes and foreign exchange to India. And that was that whole journey, that whole chunk of 8 to 10 years was able to teach me really how to build businesses well. And later, when we were exiting the company, my CEO told me that you have learned everything that I wanted to teach you, and probably more than that. And now you can run a business single handedly. You don't need to have co founders, you don't need to bring on outside funding and things like that. And since then, I've been able to build a company entirely from home with all of my employees working virtually entirely from home. So it's a virtual company with 7 to 8 employees, and we've touched a max of about 3.5 CR in revenue in a year. And all of this we have done in our first 5 years. So now although I'm a sales coach, essentially is product strategist and a sales coach. In these set of videos, I'm going to share with you what were my learnings and my implementations from my mentor's learnings that I was able to implement. Okay. Now, one of the biggest problem with people, especially if you are from the Indian subcontinent, is that we think that sales is business. Sales is not business, and a lot of this learning has been propagated by companies which are wanting you to sell their product on commission. So if you're selling a finance product like an insurance product or a mutual fund kind of a product, or if you're selling a health product or something like that, then these companies, what they have taught us is that all you need to do is make sales, kind of get people in, and then we have a compensation system or something, and then you are in business with us. In my last video, I just shared with you, license wise, you're not in business with them. You're actually not even in business unless you truly generate yourself some kind of a business license, create a current account, start tracking your income and expenses, start filing tax appropriately, and then you kind of just starting to get into business. And after that, you can just get very, very serious. If you cross a 20 lakh rupee barrier, just start filing GST. That is the first threshold where a lot of things are going to change, and they're going to change for the better. Okay. Before that, if your only source of income is the commission that you're making from promoting any one company's product, in the parlance of business, you have just one client, which is that company, because the money is coming from that particular company. Okay, so must have private cash flows and things like that, which I've already spoken about in the last video. I'll keep on talking about later. But for the purpose of this video, what are the things that an aspiring business owner should start thinking about? Okay, and I'm just going to quickly share my screen over here, just upfront and real business focus area. The first one is marketing. Okay, the first one is marketing, which is how the hell do people get to know about your business? And this is a proper business area, which means if you're working single-handedly solopreneur, then there should be certain times in the week that are blocked on your calendar where you only work on marketing, which is how the hell is that the fact that you exist, how are people getting to know about it outside? Okay. And today with internet and social media, your reach could be in the hundreds or thousands of people if you try to do social media. And if you're doing paid advertising, your reach could be in the lakhs of people. My life changed when I was doing a solopreneur business in 2017. I was using Facebook ads, and I was very, very fascinated how many people are there in India who are 18 years and above, and started doing the research. And I found that in the Facebook business suite, at that point, there were 50 crore plus people on the Facebook business suite, which means with the right kind of relationship with the Meta Marketing Corporation, I could potentially get in front of all of those 50 crore people. Today, there are roughly about 60 crore people in India. And many of these people are swiping left and right and buying things with their credit cards online. So that gave me an idea that, okay, I need to think outside of my social circle. I need to think outside of the 200 people who watch my stuff on Facebook or something as a user. I need to think business, and I need to have a strategy of conquering city after city till I reach at least 5 crore people, 10 crore people, etc. Okay. Today, my target database on the Meta Marketing Suite is roughly about 13 crore people, and I've already crossed 3 crore people in the last 5 years who have actually seen me and at some point, and who will probably have some recall if my face shows up somewhere. Okay, and you can do all of this by just setting up a business relationship with the Meta Marketing Corporation. I don't know of many other things that have this kind of leverage, especially if you're living in the Indian subcontinent. We have other companies who have inventory of display ads and all. I don't know how those technologies work. But I can tell you for one thing that when it comes to solopreneurs working, and if you've seen some solopreneurs suddenly getting very, very big, I went very, very big. It took me roughly about 12 months to go from a 5 lakh rupee month to a 30 lakh rupee month. Yes. Roughly about 14 months. Okay. So hyper scaled when all the pieces were in place. There was 1 year where I could just hyper scale. And if you're suddenly seeing anybody, any solopreneur in your vicinity who could be a coach, who could be a service provider, who could be a network marketer, who could be a finance person, insurance, or even if they have their own practice, like if they have a dental clinic or something like that, lawyers practice, if you're seeing them hyperscale and suddenly get like lots of clients from online, chances are they're probably using Meta Marketing Suite. Okay. So that is one value I just wanted to give to you. Just clear out the doubts in your mind and just cut out the noise from the signal. Okay. And my current business mentor makes close to 25-30 crores as a solopreneur business owner, and I constantly keep asking him where is the business coming from, and I can tell you that more than 90-95% of his business is coming from Meta Marketing Corporation, which is having a business account with Facebook, which allows you to give advertising on Facebook and Instagram. Okay. So that is marketing. A certain amount of hours in your week, if you're a solopreneur, should be solely dedicated to marketing. Like you see, I'm making these videos for you. This is my organic marketing. I did not do organic marketing very actively earlier, but as of 1 year back, I have dedicated a certain part of my week. Usually on a Friday, I'm recording all of these videos for you, and then they go out during the week. Okay, so Friday is my day for spending on marketing. Okay. Now the next thing is sales. Sales is very, very different from marketing, and if you are in the coaching industry, if you're a coach, consultant, trainer, author, speaker, man, I can tell you that a lot of people are getting waylaid a lot. So when it comes to marketing, the people who actually made us weak in marketing were probably, or the people who made us weak in business were these companies who told us, just because I'm paying you commission to promote my products, you are in business. And the answer to that, even if you hate me, the answer to that is no, you are not in business, but you are in sales. And that's a good job, because mastering sales is 90% of the game. Okay, absolutely. All right. Now, marketing is something where I don't know why, but a lot of people don't really invest time and money in their marketing. I've just given you the mantra, the secret, which has allowed me to get to where I am. And the secret is Facebook ads. You need to be figuring this out, and you need to be spending some time on doing marketing. Initially, it's going to be all paid marketing, but later, when your brand expands, like my brand, I spend Fridays are reserved not only for ads, but also making these free videos for you, and also doing email marketing, where I send out lots of value emails, and I just do all of this stuff on Friday. Okay. Next is sales. Coaching industry again has taught us that digital ads or marketing is everything. So you see a lot of ads on if you are a user on Facebook and Instagram, you'll see a lot of people just talk about like the digital aspect of it: leads. Okay, and in marketing you'll get all kinds of leads and things like that, but you should know how to transition them, how to get that first money out. And for that, you need to master sales. And in order to master sales, you need to master sales psychology. Okay, now a lot of people talk about mindset psychology. I don't want this to be like one of those videos, generalized kind of videos talking about mindset. But remember, asking for money has deeper embedded shame associated for most of us, because in our culture, when we used to ask for money, including probably asking for pocket money or something like that, there was some embedded shame in probably a lot of people's childhoods, where parents would be asking, I gave you money the last time, what happened to that money? First you tell me. And probably as a child we felt, hey man, I have to explain myself or something. Okay, and the same thing transitions over into your mentality when you're doing selling. Okay, and this basically has a big problem, because a lot of people want to outsource the sales, so to say. They want to outsource the sales. Sales is 90% of business. Getting the money to change hands and supporting your product and getting in front of the prospect and getting that money to change hands is literally 90% of the game. If you want to outsource that area, you're not in business. It's very simple. The funda of outsourcing only works for non-critical parts of your business, which means customer support could be one such area. All right. And that's the kind of thing that people outsource. Sales is not something you outsource. Marketing you can outsource. Yes, you can have somebody like a freelancer doing your ads for you, because they have to load up the ads into the algorithm so that your ads can go out. Something like that can be outsourced. But core marketing and core sales cannot be outsourced. Product strategy cannot be outsourced. Sales is something you have to learn and master and do yourself. And this is even if you're trying to have automated sales. A lot of people ask me, because now I'm co-founder of a digital agency as well. A lot of people ask me, hey man, how can I get these sales where people watch my video and they pay me 100 rupees on the landing page, and I want those guys. Listen man, you are going to lose if you don't want to ask for money. Very simple, master it. I've got 110 videos that I've already published in the last 6 months, which talk about only how to ask for the money, and how to get that right in your head. Okay, very, very simple. Okay, sales is something you got to master. So over here, I would like to say, if you're a commission salesperson, if you're selling insurance, mutual funds, or health products, you have this mastered. You are the absolute boss. And if you're reading Allen Pease, or if you have some good mentorship in your company, this is one area I think most people have got mastered. In the commission selling industry, coaching industry quite weak, and practitioner industry also quite weak. I see a lot of lawyers, doctors, chartered accountants, they're not really happy about promoting themselves and asking for the money or something like that. Okay, because they have this probably mindset that, hey, I'm a degree holder, so people should come to me. Listen man, the market is very crowded right now, and there are hundreds of degree holders like you, and the prospects most often are confused. They are scared when they come in front of degree holders, in front of a lawyer, in front of a doctor, because they have some embedded fear. First of all, they don't want to be there. Nobody comes in front of a lawyer or a doctor or somebody if they don't have a problem. So they do have a real problem. So they're already in a feared state. If you don't master that whole interaction where you can give them the comfort and get the money to change hands, then you're going to lose out. Then people are going to see you as a scammer, because anyway you're going to charge them once you solve their problem, and they're always going to not know why I'm being charged so much and things like that. Okay, so it's just gonna be a difficult situation. Okay, I'll tell you something more about my own stories later, but some of this has happened with me because I am a degree holder myself. I'm a medical doctor. Okay, let's go to the third one. Product. Okay, product is the actual product or service that you're delivering, and there are two aspects of product, which is product delivery as well as product development. Okay, that means that if you're able to get into business as a solopreneur, it's a very low entry barrier business, which means even as a doctor, you can quit your job and start your practice. Low entry barrier. As a lawyer, you can quit your job if you're working with a law firm and start your practice. Low entry barrier. But surviving in that business is very, very difficult because there's too much competition causes low entry barrier because everybody can do it. Everybody who's a degree holder. Same with solopreneurship in commission selling. Everybody can become a network marketer, insurance seller. Overnight, they just have to sign a form. So this business becomes highly, highly competitive. In order to make this business work for you, you have to beat out the competition by constant product development, which means your own knowledge, your skills need to constantly be developing. I would say the first 3 years in business is all skill development. Even if you're already a degree holder, even if you're already an established, even if you're like a marketing honcho, even if you're like a vice president of some company who's starting your business in the same area that you were in the company, let's say you're a vice president of HR, and now you're starting your own business as a solopreneur, as an HR consultant, helping small startups. Then the first 3 years is going to be all learning. You're just going to learn new things, and you're going to have to figure out how life works for other people, which is your clients, and how to make sure that you can make the ends meet, which is their problem, and your solution is almost never going to fit, and you got to make it work. Okay, that's where all the learning is coming from. So that product development, which is developing yourself, and then product delivery, which is actually working for your client. Those are things that that you're going to be working on. That is, I'm sure everybody knows that, but very few people actually focus on the product development part because they think I'm already the product. I'm already the product. You're almost never already the product. You have to manage. Okay. And over here also, a lot of people who are solopreneurs in commission selling, who are finance, like selling insurance policies, mutual funds, network marketing, health products, they think, okay, just because I've tied up with this company to provide the product, I don't need to work on the product. Yes, you do need to work on the product because they are providing the hard products, which is like a box packed product which just works one way. Okay, health product just works one way. Similarly, an insurance policy just works one way. But people have different needs, so educating people about what to expect from this and having paid products in this area is something that I would highly recommend, because when you truly give good education to people and help them change their habits, this product support or having this customer support is probably going to be 90% of your work. Okay, so I would really recommend that you spend a lot of time in developing either your own products or developing yourself so that you can provide the free customer support. If you're providing the free customer support, which is you're just educating the person about the product and getting them to the company so they can buy, and then you're supporting them, that's fine. That's one layer of income. But I would highly, highly recommend that you develop your own products as well, your own chargeable teaching, coaching products, so that people who sign up with the product, before that they're fully coached and they're fully understanding of what they're getting into. Okay, and this has to be a paid program because you're spending a whole lot of time educating these people with zero consideration for it. Okay, this also applies to doctors, lawyers, chartered accountants. Even if you have a practice on the ground, delivering the actual product is only 5% of your time. Remember that. So if you're a doctor saab and there are people who are coming to you, let's say you're like a dentist or a pediatrician, the people who actually need a tooth extraction or something like that is only 5% of the people. But people who have toothaches, who need to come to you, this is going to be a low ticket person for you. Imagine they have a toothache, you apply some balm on their tooth or something like that, and there turns out to be no rotting of the tooth, no RCT, nothing like that. Then it's a waste of your time to be charging them consultation fees for something they may need only once. What you need to do, what I would do if I were you, is I would have a separate product which would only be a healthcare coaching program. Okay, I would digitize it and I would promote it saying 90% of the time you don't need a dentist. You don't need to be coming again and again and paying the price of a consultation. For the price of one single consultation, you can have all of my knowledge for lifetime. For the price of one consultation, you can have all of my knowledge for a lifetime. And this is my health program. You can say I'm recommending this health program. I've created a health program. You can buy a login ID password for the price of one consultation. It could be as less as 1,000 rupees, probably 2,000 rupees or something like that. Okay, and they get lifetime access to this body of work where you take your time every single week and create videos about different topics, and you can make them chargeable. I'm a sales consultant, sales strategist. I'm making videos for free to help other people. But imagine if I was a dental doctor and I wanted to create something about dental health. 90% of the times they don't really need a doctor, and you can have all of those videos hidden behind a paywall where people can pay one time, lifetime access. And what that does is it helps you generate some revenue. First of all, it helps you market yourself amazingly because people are going to refer other people, and they're going to say, hey man, before you go to a dental surgeon who probably fleeces you or something like that, you got to check out this program. It's a one-time, lifetime. You can buy it for $1,100, and this particular Dr. Saab is really helping us. You have unlimited access, and every week he makes new videos. There are hundreds of videos in there where you can pretty much take care of your own health. Okay, it's gonna be good for brand building. It gives you some cash flow, and there is something subconscious that happens when somebody swipes their card with you once, and they get some value in return for the money that is more than the money they paid. So imagine they pay you, let's say, $1,000, $2,000, and they get some value which is continuous, and they're constantly getting this value, and you're always in front of them because they're watching your videos and things like that. Then what happens is it lowers the barrier and increases the trust to the point where anytime these people have any problem, any real surgery to be done, any real RCT to be done, anything to be done, they're going to be by default coming to you. So it's a source of cash flow, and it creates free marketing, which builds enough trust that you pretty much have a captive audience. That means if they like listening to you, if they're giving them value, then they're going to swipe their card again with you. And the second time they come to you, there's going to be no negotiation on the price. They're going to have implicit trust. Life is going to be beautiful. Okay. So again, customer support is something that a lot of times can be automated. And in the network marketing, commission selling, mutual fund kind of area, what is happening is that these companies have tied up with you, and you are in charge of your own sales, you are in charge of your own marketing, company is only in charge of the product, you are in charge of the support, which is you have to deal with all those people lifetime because you're tribe building and all of that. So you have to do the support, and you only get paid for actually shipping the product, which the company actually does. They've got a whole system for it, and you get paid a very small percentage of the actual product volume. So if you're doing product volume, let's say volume points or dollar equivalents of, let's say, 10,000 volume points or $10,000 worth of product, you're hardly getting paid any kind of commensurate value for that amount of sale that you're bringing about. That is why you need to have your own marketing, you need to have your own products, and you need to kind of streamline customer support so that most of the problems are taken care of. In my particular case, my main business is being an agency owner, and then I've got a sales strategy coaching. And most of the issues that have to do with managing your digital setup, most of the issues that have day-to-day issues with, hey man, this particular person used this objection on me, I don't know how to crack through it. Most of that stuff is already automated. I've got videos in there which teaches them about every single scenario, and I've got live calls of mine where I've been able to close similar deals in the health area, life coaching area, in the finance area, and I've got all those recordings in there where they can pretty much learn from me. Okay, so all of that customer support, so to say, is automated, regardless of whether people come to me as a sales coachee or whether they come to me as a client for my digital agency. All the riffraff, the useless little things that keep coming up in everybody's life, and that involves two people to waste their time, which is the client is wasting their time getting together with you, and you're wasting your time cleaning out the minor things, should all be automated so that they get instant support and your time is free, and they're going to respect it. Most clients will actually respect if they get instant solutions rather than them having to wait for you to take time out for them. Okay, a lot of people think, hey, if I'm not in front of my clients, and then that relationship is going to go sour over time, or it's going to dilute over time. No, you actually are in front of your clients, because if you have a learning system or something where they can actually do their own help desk stuff by watching a few videos, you are actually in front of them, and that relationship is getting stronger and stronger. Okay, so just open up your mind. We are living in the internet age, we are living in the AI age. Let's just get ahead of in our lives, man. All right, cool. Let's go to accounting. Very, very important area. Like I told you in the beginning, there's not a whole lot of accounting to do, and especially if you outsource your accounting to a company, like if you're doing network marketing or insurance, the accounting is already done for you, because they're already going to calculate how much commissions to give you, and all you need to do is just collect the money and pretty much pay income tax on it. That's it. So there's not a whole lot of accounting. But I would encourage you, if you are a solopreneur, to start spending money, your own money, in your own marketing. Start spending a little bit of money to create your own information products, okay, and start managing your money so that you can see how much money is basically, how much of this money earned goes into my household, how much of this money goes into my marketing to market myself, how much of this money goes towards taxes, and how much money goes towards product development or self learning or something like that, or creating new digital products which will probably cost time and money. Okay, I want you to start having a business grip and having a business mentality on this. And even if you have very little money to start with, you can still start budgeting very well. Okay, one of the things that I love is that I read Robert Kiyosaki's book where he said, if you want to make more money, you gotta give more money as donation and social service. And I went and asked my mentor at that time, I don't have a whole lot of money, like how do I start giving money for donation and social service? So he said, just start with just some little thing. And I started with giving 50 rupees to a child social services organization, and it was like enough. I felt good. That was the $50 I did not spend on the weekend partying or buying something nice for myself, like ordering some food. Back in those days, there was no Swiggy, but we still used to order food from restaurants. And I just gave that up for a weekend, and I just gave $50 to just a little amount of something, and it made me feel good. And since then, I have had a running program with either orphan education support or elderly or some kind of thing that really kind of is close to my heart. I also fund medical operations for little kids and things like that. And I've had that outflow from my paycheck ever since I started making money in my very first paycheck. Okay. So that is something that goes into my accounting. It is budgeted inside my accounting as much as taxes are. Okay, I'd encourage you to start spending a little more time on your marketing on your product. And hey man, if you don't have the money, start spending time, man. Start spending time. There should be hours of your day budgeted for marketing, hours of your day budget, hours of your week budgeted for product development. And at this point, I'd just like to share with you, I track my time like I track my money. I track my time like I track my money. I'm going to quickly share this particular sheet with you on the screen. And you will see over here that at the end of the month, I do a complete accounting of my time as I do a complete accounting of my money. And if you can learn this particular thing from me, I think it's going to make you a champion, because it has made me a champion in many different areas of my life. All right. So I have over here an Excel sheet where I'm showing you that in the month of December, how many hours did I work and what percentage of those hours went into ads and sales, organic marketing, training material creation, academy meets with my members, member support, operations planning, finance, and self mastery. All right, I've got the same in January. I've got the whole thing broken up. I've got the same thing in February, whole thing broken up. March, April, May, I'm still to fill. I'm just a little delayed. It's the 13th of June today. Okay, and you can see that even big projects that I have to do in my business, I literally track the time. How much time did it take for me to launch my email marketing? 13 hours. How much time did it take for me to create a YouTube coaching program? 6 hours, whatever it is. Right. So very important that you track your time, because if money is tight, then chances are that you're not using your time right as well. Okay, if money is tight, then plan your time. And back in the day when I had no money, I would have Saturdays planned out for self development. And Saturdays were the time when most people were actually, when I was earning my first few bucks, when I was first salary, a lot of other people in that age group, 24 25-year-old age group, were using their money to actually go out on Saturdays and party, which I also did a little bit. But mostly Saturdays were locked down for me to meet my mentor, for me to go to business meetings, catch up with some of my friends who were there in the business arena. So if I said, okay, I am not going to waste my Saturday, I want to have some fun, I would catch up with a few friends who were also trying to build businesses, and then we'd go out for a burger or something like that. So we had our fun. But that Saturday was sacrosanct, was only for me to focus, because I have worked from Monday to Friday. All right, I have put my time, sold my time for the sake of paycheck, which I need. And now Saturday, when the weekend starts, I directly go into monk mode for my business. And even half of a Sunday, I would be spending only in business. The first half of Sunday would be spent in business meetings or meeting prospects or trying to do sales. And probably Sunday night, I would just relax and just chill out for a little bit. Okay. I had a time budget for book reading. I would be reading a lot of books, because books are the cheapest way you can educate yourself. Okay, the cheapest way you can really educate yourself is just getting books. And today, if you have a Kindle app, every book in the world is available at the click of a button. If there is something I like, most books are between $300 to $800. Average cost of a book is $500 on Kindle. If I like the idea, or somebody recommends a book, or if I talk about some guy on a podcast is talking about a book, I immediately go and buy it and I speed read through it, spend about a half an hour. I've got time budgeted for that. Okay. So all of these things, I want you to start thinking of yourself. If you don't have other employees, then I want you to start mastering all of these areas, because sooner or later, when you have employees, you're going to be the one to have to train them. Okay. When you have departments, today I have a department for marketing. Okay. I have a department for sales. That means I have people working whose job is to market me. There are people working whose job is to sell me, ask for the money on my behalf. I've got product area. I've got people over here. Customer support for me is very, very simple. On my agency side, we have support personnel, but on the academy side, it's all digitized. And I have people who work for me in all of these 5 divisions. And later, when there is too many people working for you, you will have a 6th division, which is going to be personnel management. Okay. So while you have probably less than 4 or 5 people, everybody has great relations. We kind of we relate on a very, very spirit level. So we are all working on the same speed and the same purposes. But sooner or later, when you have more and more people in your division, you're going to have something called personnel management, and that's when you start building out your HR kind of department. But for now, my accounting department takes care of all the other people that are there in my company, and I literally have people in each of these areas that are working for me, so that now, after 5 years of being in business, now each of these departments knows what is to be done, and each of these are literally, I won't say that they're working without me, to be very honest. I haven't reached that stage, but they're going to be independent of me at certain point in time. Okay. I hope within the next 1 year. Okay. All right. So with that, I wish you all the best. If you like something about this video, if you have questions, please leave it in the comments right below, and I'll be answering them about once or twice a week. And please subscribe to this channel, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. All right. Bye-bye.